In this world, there exists a type of creature. They have been seen by a few, yet their existence has never been officially confirmed. We refer to these beings collectively as Unidentified Mysterious Animals, UMA. Hello everyone, and welcome to the World in 10 Minutes series. In this episode, we will introduce a mysterious creature from Africa, the Jubbafofi. The Jubbafofi, also known as the Congolese giant spider, is a legendary cryptid said to originate from an indigenous tribe in the Congo. It is often described as a venomous, massive arachnid, with a body length of over 5 feet, making it as large as an adult human. According to reports, these spiders are capable of weaving enormous webs between trees, and they actively hunt prey by chasing animals into their webs, where they become trapped and eventually devoured. One of the earliest recorded sightings dates back to the late 19th century, documented in the diary of a British missionary named Arthur John Symes. In 1890, while traveling near Lake Malawi in Uganda, Symes and a group of porters came across a gigantic web spanning between two large trees. Curious, two of the porters stepped forward to investigate, but soon became entangled in the web, struggling to free themselves. Suddenly, two enormous spiders with legs nearly 4 feet long emerged from the dense foliage and bit the trapped men. Symes immediately ordered the group to fire their pistols, scaring off the creatures. However, the two bitten men began showing signs of severe poisoning. Their faces turned pale, their wounds swelled, and they developed high fevers, becoming delirious before dying shortly after. Another notable sighting took place in 1938, when Reginald Lloyd and his wife were driving through the Congo Basin. While passing through a remote area, they suddenly saw what they believed to be a large cat crossing the road. Startled, they immediately stopped the car. Upon closer inspection, however, they realized it was not a cat at all, but a massive spider. According to their description, the spider was 4 to 5 feet wide, far larger than any known species. Their encounter was later documented by cryptozoologist George Eberhardt in his Guide to Cryptozoology. During World War II, multiple soldiers reported encounters with giant spiders. In 1942, an Australian soldier claimed that while traveling along the Kokoda Trail, he encountered a black spider the size of a dog, resting on a 30-foot wide web. Overcome with fear, he used a machete to kill the creature. Later, both American and Vietnamese soldiers also reported similar encounters during military operations. As time went on, reports of the Jubbafofi spread worldwide. Sightings have been documented in Uganda, Vietnam, Venezuela, the Amazon rainforest, Canada, the UK, and the United States. Even in the 21st century, reports continue to emerge. For instance, in 2001, residents of Bakabulo, Cameroon, reportedly witnessed a Jubbafofi. That same year, there was an alleged sighting in Nottingham, England, near Stone Bridge. In 2010, a similar giant spider sighting was reported in the Dakota Hills, USA. There have been numerous sightings of giant spiders measuring nearly a meter, 3 feet, wide crossing roads. Then in 2013, a viral YouTube video claimed that a Jubbafofi had been captured on a night vision camera near a watering hole in Mozambique. Many viewers online believe the creature resembled a giant spider. Let's adjust the contrast and slow it down. Take a closer look. Due to the poor video quality, I personally don't think it looks convincing. But what do you think? The image of enormous spiders is common in films, books, and folklore. Examples include Aragog in Harry Potter, Shelob in The Lord of the Rings, Kumonga from Godzilla Spiga, the recurring spider monster in kaiju films. With such depictions, theories about Jubbafofi's existence are widespread and diverse. Some local African media claim that the Jubbafofi is an ancient species that has miraculously survived due to the dense and isolated environment of the Congo Basin. Others believe it is a fictional creature, created through exaggeration by Western explorers. One theory suggests that the so-called giant spider might actually be a large land crab, such as the coconut crab. However, this theory is flawed for several reasons. Coconut crabs do not weave webs. Their movement speed is vastly different from that of spiders. William Gibbons, a cryptozoologist, traveled to Africa in search of another famous UMA, the Mokele-mbembe, a dinosaur-like cryptid. I will cover that creature in a future video. During his third expedition to Africa, He spoke with indigenous residents in Central Africa, who described a giant spider known as the Jubbafofi. According to their accounts, Jubbafofi spiders can grow up to 5 feet in size. They are brownish in color with purple markings on their abdomen. Their venom is highly toxic. Their eggs are white and peanut-sized. Adult Jubbafofi are capable of preying on antelopes, large birds, and even humans. Locals claimed these spiders were once common, but due to deforestation, they are now rarely seen. Gibbons stated that in Congo and other parts of Africa, many locals have either seen these giant spiders or firmly believe in their existence. However, many scientists strongly dispute the possibility of a spider as large as the Jubbafofi existing. According to Guinness World Records, the largest known spider ever discovered was a Goliath bird-eater found in Venezuela in 1965. It had a leg span of 28 centimeters, 11 inches, making it larger than a dinner plate. Even though this is an enormous spider, it is still far smaller than the Jubbafofi, which is rumored to be 5 times larger. Thus, many researchers argue that the Jubbafofi is nothing more than a myth. According to scientists, the maximum possible size for a spider is limited by its biological structure. Arachnologist Wayne Madison explains that an animal's size is closely related to its skeletal structure. Like other arthropods, spiders have exoskeletons that support their bodies. If a spider were to grow too large, its exoskeleton would become excessively heavy, making movement extremely difficult. This also explains why the largest arthropods are typically found in the ocean, where the buoyancy of water helps support their bodies. Another argument comes from Rod Crawford, curator at the Burke Museum in Seattle. He believes that the true limiting factor for a spider's size is its respiratory system. Spiders breathe through tracheal tubes and book lungs, which exchange gases with their surroundings. However, even if these organs were enlarged, their respiratory efficiency would still be far lower than that of a mammal of the same size. Additionally, the nature of spider blood would further reduce oxygen conversion efficiency. Thus, unless a spider's respiratory system evolved significantly, a massive body size would likely render it immobile. However, using mechanics and structural biology to explain unknown creatures comes with a high degree of uncertainty. For example, in the early 20th century, scientists used aerodynamic principles to claim that bumblebees should be incapable of flight due to their large, bulky bodies and small wings. Yet, we now know that bumblebees flap their wings sideways, allowing them to generate lift efficiently, flying at speeds of 300 meters per minute. Similarly, scientists once calculated that a kangaroo's energy consumption should exceed its caloric intake, meaning it shouldn't exist. However, kangaroos have highly developed leg tendons, allowing them to store and release energy like a spring, making their hopping motion highly energy efficient. Thus, I believe it is possible for a spider to surpass its known size limitations. The Congo Basin, where Jubbafofi legends originate, is the world's second-largest tropical rainforest. It is incredibly rich in biodiversity, often referred to as the Earth's greatest genetic reservoir. This region is home to countless endangered species, many of which remain undiscovered. In fact, in 2019 alone, scientists identified more than 71 new spider species. Could a prehistoric species have survived in this isolated environment, evolving into the Jubbafofi we hear about today? It remains a possibility. After all, beyond the Jubbafofi, the Congo has also been the site of reports about fire-breathing dinosaurs, giant flying creatures, and other cryptids. While these creatures may seem laughable to us, many locals firmly believe in their existence. Legends of giant spiders have existed throughout history. In Western mythology, they often take the form of divine beings or spider deities. I won't go into detail here, but those interested can research further. In Japan, giant spiders appear as yokai, supernatural creatures, such as Ushi-oni, Jorogumo, and Tsuchigumo. In ancient China, similar legends exist. In the Southern New Book, Northern Song Dynasty, a legendary creature called Shanjurju, mountain spider, was said to be as large as a cartwheel, with silk capable of stopping bleeding. In the Qing Dynasty, scholar Xu Fenggan wrote of a creature called Haizhu Juju, giant spider of Haizhu, describing it as the size of a chicken, with thick legs resembling tree branches. I personally believe that Jubba fofi could be a successfully evolved species of giant spider that remains undiscovered. And as always, the unknown will always be greater than the known. That concludes this episode. Thank you for watching.